oh man, there's so many things you could do to join the conversation about nutrition and its relevance to self-defense in today's world. You could record kids in your school, little vignette stories about things they avoided eating that week, thus opening a dialogue about self-defense and why didn't they eat that candy or that cake or have that second helping or whatever. What does it mean? Where did they learn that, and what does it mean to their life? Is it self-discipline? Is it health related? Is there some dialogue you could have where you engage your students in conversation and thus give them lots of praise? And then the titles and descriptions you write on these posts help people to recognize what you're doing, how you're mentoring. Could you record your own meals? Could you build with your students some square foot garden planter boxes and donate them to places in your community, churches, private schools, apartment complexes? And could you have a making of video? Could you then show the box being set up? Could you have dialogue with people saying thank you or why they're involved in this project? And you could think of all sorts of things, create flashcards or postcards that kids get home. Maybe they get a set of postcards, very cheap, that you built on Canva, that you give them when they join to put around the house as reminders. And then you're filming and writing about these cards and why you did them, and show them installed in people's homes, on the refrigerator with a magnet backing and all that kind of stuff. It's just ways for you to talk about what you care about, to tie nutrition to self-defense. And then there's no shortage of people in your community who are deeply involved in taking care of kids who aren't watching their diet and or educating people. Who are these people, and could you connect with them and tell their story and help promote their work? There's all sorts of ways you can do it, but maybe the biggest benefactor, as I mentioned in the article that accompanies this video, is you. If you start paying deep, master level, focus to your own nutrition and really show the consciousness that you have about how food is produced and who pays the price and where it's transported from and all the particulars, and you talk about these things to improve yourself, you benefit the most and your students are the second. But there's lots of ways to insert yourself in the dialogue that's going on in your community that catches this stuff at the root of the problem, not to deal with therapy after the fact, after a kid has spent years not paying attention to his diet, parents didn't know, they hadn't even thought about it, nobody coached or mentored them. Your job is self-defense, so you go in before and say, hey, this could happen, these are the consequences, these are the practices that you implement in your life. And one of those practices involves regular and consistent exercise, martial arts. One of the practices involves joining a community where things that may not be important to others are important to this community, like what goes in your mouth and where that food comes from and how it's prepared, and are there chemicals and pesticides? All of these things may be things you don't know anything about now, but all that education is right at your fingertips. And I highly suggest that you think 10 moves ahead in the chess game of your business and plan for what's going to make you different and unique and valuable in tomorrow's martial arts game.